Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Dave from DLLM Cactus. Today we're going to be going over how to grow cactus from seed. It's a really rewarding process, one of my favorite things that I've done. And I've started thousands of cactus seedlings and had a lot of good results. And this is going to be the seed mix that I use. So just wanted to put that out there and share it with everyone. This is going to be the three ingredients. We have the Miracle Grow Sphagnum peat moss, we have perlite, and vermiculite. So these three ingredients are it for the seed starting mix. It's a ratio of 50%, so 2 parts sphagnum peat moss, 1 part perlite, 1 part vermiculite. And there are some things that we need to do first, especially with the sphagnum peat moss. So I'll kind of get into that and show you. There are some different ways to filter this through, but you definitely want to kind of take out some of the bigger pieces and any of the compact pieces of peat moss that are stuck together. So I use a pot that has some really fine drainage holes here, and I don't want anything in the seed starting mix that's bigger than this. So what we'll do is we will put this in here and kind of filter it through, and I'll show you how I do that. Here we go. So this looks like it's a real fine material, but I will show you kind of the results of what's left. Definitely takes a little bit of work. I have to shake it around. You already start to see some of the bigger pieces that are going to be left. And I just don't like to have big chunks or twigs or anything that could hurt or get the roots to kind of develop into there, because then you'll just lead to problems later on. You just want those roots to have like the perlite, the vermiculite around them to help with their growth and grow straight down. Definitely be a healthier system that way. And this is what I mean. This is what you don't want in the mix. You don't want the twigs like that, and you don't want these pieces that are all stuck together. You can get any of the rest out like that. And then I use what's left in here for some like mulch outside. And then what you're left with is just this pure, just really fine, loose peat moss. So this is what we want right here. Okay. We have everything sifted, and you can use different strainers, any method that you'd like. I just want it to be really a fine mix. And then you get it into a microwave safe dish with the peat moss, spray it down pretty generously. And what you want to do is microwave this. I did about 4 minutes. Get really hot, so just be careful with that. And you want to sanitize the soil. So you want to kind of set yourself up for success and try to take anything out that might grow, kind of contain mold as best you can. Nothing's going to be 100%. You'll always have some little issues. The green mold, I wouldn't even worry about it. It doesn't do anything to the seedlings. It's more of a visual thing. Out of the thousands of seedlings I started, I had white mold twice. One time it took a bunch of the seedlings out, so that's just one thing you have to watch out for is white mold. But that was more of the environment I had the bag in. It wasn't getting enough sun, so it kind of gave it that perfect opportunity. And the second time, there was just a little bit on the side, and I sprayed with isopropyl spray and just kind of repotted and moved it to a different area, and there was no issue there. But yes, this once it's sanitized and kind of cooled down, then you're ready to start making that mix. So then we'll move to the next step. We'll get it into a bigger pot so we can mix everything together, and then we'll get to planting these seeds. Next step, we are going to add the perlite and the vermiculite. There is one little trick that I do with the perlite. I don't like to have big chunks. So what we'll do is we kind of put it into a plastic bag here, and just want to kind of give it a couple whacks with a spoon and kind of knock down some of the bigger pieces. Anybody that's done seeds knows that once you like get to the top there in the mix and you're trying to lay down the seeds, you always run into like a big piece of perlite that you have to always pull out. I'm not saying grind it down into a powder, but just make sure to take some of the big ones out there. Just make your job a little bit easier later on. Because sometimes you'll get some really like big ones, and that'll stop your seeds from growing if you put it on one of those and it doesn't have like the soil contact that it needs. So definitely that's one of the kind of tricks to making sure that you have a little bit smaller perlite. Then vermiculite's really fine to begin with, so you'll be in good shape. I just use that same dish that I used in the beginning because it's just the easiest way to measure the parts. Because it was about 4/5 full, so I'll just do it just under half. Vermiculite, a little bit more. And we will use the vermiculite a little bit later for even a better purpose as well. So that's gonna be your mix. You're gonna have that 2 parts peat moss, 1 part perlite, 1 part vermiculite. Just give it a generous mix around. And you'll have your peat moss still pretty damp from when you wet it down in the microwave, but you'll have to wet this even a little further and then wet it throughout when we put it into the pots. So I'll show you, but it definitely needs moisture. They'll be sealed up in that plastic bag there for almost at least 4 months, sometimes even 5 to 6. But yeah, this is what the mix will look like. Really nice, kind of has that sponginess to it. But on to the next part of the process. All right, we have the mix all sprayed down. It's got the moisture that we need, really good. Actually, really moist, but we're gonna even take it even a step further than that once we put it in these little pots. So you wanna add about 1/3 of the way up the pots. These pots are the 2.5-inch pots, the 2.5s, a little bit deeper than the 2-inch pots, which is cool. I feel really comfortable putting like a 20 to 30 count seed packet inside these, because then you can kind of move them for more space later. But definitely want to wet it down kind of throughout. I have this little misting spray bottle. If you can get any spray bottles that have like a mister on them, they're really good for this, especially when you get close up to the top with the seeds. But I just want to make sure that there is moisture throughout. Some people bottom soak them. I kind of do this. It worked for me. Everybody does their own way. But kind of get this up to the top. I do want to get it pretty close up to the top there. I don't want it to be under like the 80% mark, because you don't want any of the seeds that get close to the side. You definitely want them to still get the sunlight. You don't want them kind of hanging out on the side where they're getting in the shade. You'll get a lot of issues that way. So fill it up to the top or close to it. So I like it right about there. Then you'll get any of those little pieces of perlite, the bigger ones at the top. Those are what I was talking about earlier. If you don't knock them down a little bit, there will be a lot of big ones that you need to kind of pick through. But yep, that looks about right there. Then we kind of go on to our next steps. I have a couple more just smaller steps that I like to do on this. I have a second strainer. This one's gonna be a lot smaller. You can get this at grocery stores, anything like that. And then I take the peat moss and take it through there to even make it like a little finer. Because when I'm on the top here, I definitely wanna just put a small layer, just kind of spread out as best you can, really thin. You don't wanna put a lot because you don't want it to clump. But I just kind of try to go over any of those pieces of perlite that are at the top and then give it a little spray. So you'll have a lot of soil contact spots for when you get the seeds in there, which we'll do next. I usually grab like a piece of paper and just fold it in half. That's my easiest way. We are going to be doing the Pharaoh Cactus chrysanthus from Mesa. Love that Pharaoh. Really, really cool spikes on it. So like I said, it's a 20 to 30 count. Feel comfortable there. Yep, make sure you got them all. They are all out. So then I want to try to get them pretty much closest to the middle as possible. I don't like having a lot on the edges. So just give them a little shake and kind of get them around. Perfect. Then you want to do another little spray, kind of make sure that they kind of sit down and have that contact. And then my last little part, I like to do this one, is go back to the vermiculite, and I do like a small layer, just kind of spread throughout the top. Adds like another little layer where it can absorb the moisture, but also gives it like a little, it almost trains it to grow straight up, something to grip up on, so you don't have a lot of seedlings laying down. So then just a quick spray on top of there, and then we are set. You'll see like moisture coming out the bottom of the pot because there's good drainage. That's a great thing. You want it moist like that. Then we have already labeled it with Mesa Garden's name, with the number from Mesa, and then the actual date that I sow them, and the type of the cactus. Get them set up inside there, and then you are good to go. So with this, I do put it in front of a south-facing window on the majority of these. I have blinds on the window and keep them at about 50%. So I keep these close to the front. They get some good warmth up there, especially in our summers. And they love it right there. I would say that I'll check on them periodically, but I won't have to. Please don't drop them. I won't have to kind of worry about this guy almost for probably about 4 months, 5 months before I start to do any changes or try to take him out of there. But once you see the spines, you can kind of give it a little air. You can open the bag a little bit there and then keep the moisture up by yourself. But I like to kind of leave them be for about 3 to 4 months. But yeah, really neat. Thank you for joining me on this video again. Appreciate it. If you can, watch some of the other videos. That's awesome. Like and subscribe. I have a lot more work to do today. I'm going to be doing a lot more seed sowing. Got some great ones from Mesa. Got another 20 pack of the Columna alba, Copia poas, and some Tephro geometricuses. Yeah, just a bunch of different things to do. But thank you again for joining the video, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.